Welcome to the show. It's called The Lee Michaels Show with Carol and the cast of characters. Yes, we are live here this Thursday morning, live from Los Angeles. It is raining. It's wet outside. Coming down pretty good. Yeah, but the storm that they predicted is not half as bad as what we thought we were going to get. I guess that's a good thing, but we're still getting a significant amount of rain. Now, whether it's going to cause flooding, move this microphone out of the way here, we don't know. But it looks like for the next 24 hours or so, we're going to be getting a significant amount of rain here in Southern California. Hope things are well with you. Hope the weather is good. I understand it's still a bit cold in the Midwest and back east. But welcome to the real world, right? Let's see, what else is happening here? Trump's head lawyer resigns. Wonder what that's all about. Did they have a difference of opinion, or was it the statement that he made a few days ago suggesting that the Mueller investigation should end, and then Trump having to walk that back? It's unclear as to what that's all about, but it will eventually come out in the wash. I saw a very disturbing video this morning that someone forwarded to me, and I'll try to pull it up and play it for you. But it's a young lady, and I believe she's in Philadelphia. She's crying her heart out for about 15, 16 minutes. She's grieving the loss of her brother, who apparently was arrested. And he was arrested for 2 weeks, and his mom or no one could go visit him. Arrested for disorderly conduct and obstruction. He was walking from his mom's house to go to his sister's house in the same neighborhood at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's crazy to think that you cannot walk in your own neighborhood and not being arrested and harassed and or beaten to death. We don't know exactly how this young man was killed, murdered, but he was in the lockup for 2 weeks, and then they finally got a phone call from the cops saying that your son is dead. Why is it that the mom could not visit, talk to, or have any communication with the son for 2 weeks and then get the notification that he's dead? How does that happen in America? Somebody help me with this. I don't get it. I really don't understand how that's possible. Could this be another cop cover-up? Again, this will come out in the wash sooner or later. We have a phone call here. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show. Who do we have?
Hey, Lee.
Yeah.
Chef John Lewis. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Chef Lewis?
I thought I'd call you and kind of upset you guys about my menu that I'm serving today for lunch here at River Point.
What's on the menu, Chef?
Well, the menu today, we got potato and cheese soup. We got roast turkey with cornbread dressing and gravy, actually giblet gravy, peas and carrots, a tossed salad, dinner rolls, and the dessert is probably something you haven't had in a long time, buttermilk pie.
Buttermilk pie? I don't think I've ever had that.
You never had buttermilk pie?
No, I never even heard of it.
Have you had pecan pie before?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. The ingredients, the two different ingredients in the buttermilk pie and the pecan pie is the buttermilk. So the recipe is basically the same except for the last two ingredients. Your sugar, your eggs, vanilla, a little butter, and your K-Rose syrup.
Everything
That's
that
right,
you're not
sir.
supposed to eat, Johnny. You're cooking at a retirement place or senior place?
No, it's assisted living and memory care.
Assisted living.
Yes.
That's a lot of sugar in that
And
pie, man. You gonna have those
yeah,
cats walking around with sugar diabetes.
well, I think, Lee, look at it this way. This is their last. A lot of these assisted living memory care.
Yeah.
This is their last place.
Right.
When their family put them in here, and this is their last stop because normally they're starting on the decline.
Yeah.
So you want to make these people happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And take care of them. But I'm about to serve lunch, but I thought I'd call and harass you about that. Hello, Carol.
Hey, Carol's not here today. It looks like I might be riding this horse by myself. Carol's out today. She says she's got to do her taxes. She's got a doctor's appointment. And then Chris is going to be out today. So it looks like it's going to be me and maybe Alfie, as Carol calls him, might be joining in, and we can kick it, and maybe some of the other cast of characters. But I appreciate you calling in.
Oh, and by the way, and I know you saw it on your screen. You had a listener from St. Louis on the other day listening to the show.
Who was that?
With the initials D.E.
Who was it?
D.E. Doug Easton.
Oh, Dougie. The leprechaun.
He was listening the other day.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that Doug was tuning in.
Yes, but I got to run because I'm about ready to serve lunch here. But I thought I'd call and harass you and get your stomach all worked up. And
yeah, you did.
Worked up.
And I haven't had breakfast this morning. Thank you very much, Chef.
Oh, and one thing I forgot to the main course.
What?
The cranberry jelly. I forgot about the.
Oh man, I love cranberry jelly. Yes, I love it. All right,
Lee.
Johnny, have a good day.
You too. God bless you, sir.
God bless you too. That's my main man right there. All right. So we just heard from Chef Johnny Lewis down in Texas, taking care of the old folks. Hey, Johnny, save me a seat down there. When I get to the point where I'm pissing on myself, hey, I'll be down there. So save me a spot there at the joint. Looks like somebody's trying to join me here, but it's not connecting. Okay, starting. All right, negotiating, checking. All right. Hey, Alfie, what's happening, buddy? I was hoping you would come in today, and then we can talk politics and no bullshit. How's that?
Well, I've been here for a few. The man was making my mouth water with all of those pie and food descriptions.
I know, right?
Where was this assisted living place?
It's down.
I can go and fake it.
It's down in Texas somewhere near Austin, I believe. Not a couple of 100 miles or so away from there, but it's down in Texas. All my exes live in Texas. What you know about that? No, it looks like you froze up there, buddy. If you can hear me, log out and log back in. I'll refresh on my end here. His connection, it might be on my end because everything is locked up. Oh, that's interesting. But Macs don't do that. Macs don't have problems. I got one Mac in this room and an iPad. I have more damn trouble with those than anything else. All right, let me fix it. The old famous reboot. Let's see if this works. All right. Let's restart. Alfie, if you are listening online there, give it a minute or two here. This Mac is trying to restart. It's just, I got this colorful wheel just spinning. Damn Mac. I'm having a Mac attack right now. And I don't mean no Big Mac from McDonald's. But anyway, we're in some very interesting times. I had a passenger last night, and he's a Brit. He's from across the water. And I asked him, I said, well, what are your thoughts about our president? And he's a middle-aged gentleman. And because I shared with him the sentiments of a young Brit that I had a few days ago. And he said he was surprised to hear that the young Brit said the young people in England did not like Trump. They were not in favor of his policies and the things that he's doing. They think he's racist. And this young Brit thought that the older people kind of aligned themselves with Trump somewhat. Now, this man that I spoke with last night, he's a middle-aged white Brit. And he says, no, I don't think that's accurate, because he says everybody I know, and when I go home, nobody seems to like our president, no matter the age. So interesting. There was 2 points of views that were quite different as it relates to our president. Now, the president was just on the air. I'm assuming it's off now, discussing the trade deal that he's trying to modify with various countries, or maybe all countries around the country. Now, listen, one thing that I can say, that the trade deal that we have with certain countries are not necessarily fair. They're not very good. Now, the way he's going about the fix, I disagree with how he's going about that. But I think something should be done to level the playing field. And listen, if you're going to charge me 10%, I'm going to charge you 10%. Why can't we start, like that? And balance this thing out so that nobody's getting hurt in the process, whether it's us or them or anybody else. So if you're going to charge me a tax on importing goods and services from the United States, then it should be equal coming back this way, in all fairness. Alfie, are you there now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. I think
it had
that
to be on your end.
Yeah, the problem may have been on this end with this damn Mac. I'm not a Mac fan, so the computer froze up.
Because I can hear you. I could hear you all the while you were rebooting. I could still hear you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it must be that tin can and string that I have all the way to Chicago that's working quite well.
It does work. And I mean, and speaking about connections, this Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
This subject is a lot deeper than a lot of people know. This is not just some mistake made by Zuckerberg and the crew. He had an interview with Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
And,
that was yesterday, right? Last night.
You talking about milk toast mouth, mealy mouth, butt shuffling, we're sorry, that's unfortunate, mistakes were made. All of the normal cliches that folks use, white folks use, when they are staring down the barrel of some big bovine. Zuckerberg went on to half-heartedly apologize, and when asked if he would appear before an investigative board of Congress, he reiterated that he would rather send someone who is intricately involved. And
don't look at me.
How is that? You created this shit.
Right. This is your baby. This is your ugly child or good-looking child. One way or the other.
You don't know what's going on?
And yeah, well, he's the greatest dancer.
Well, here's the rub with all of this, lady. Anderson Cooper failed to ask him, Did a Russian oligarch invest 200 million in Facebook? The answer is yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Really?
Now, one does not become an oligarch in Russia without the wink and nod of Vladimir Putin. Okay? Number one. Number two, Facebook embedded 3 full-time employees in the Trump campaign. In the campaign, not into the after, into the campaign. So he very well, damn well knew that the mined information, the 50 million people that had been mined, was being weaponized and targeted to those individuals. The Cambridge Analytica is a Mercer, Steve Bannon product, which is also Russian-based. So now, the pieces are coming together like a 2,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, because that's what this is. Hiding behind an army of LLCs and a tsunami of offshore banks.
Well,
this money laundering scheme is deep. And I dare say, they're asking Zuckerberg to come on to give, to tell them what happened, rather than saying, we're going to enforce the FTC regulations of $40,000 per violation, which would come up to about $2 trillion.
Yeah,
now,
that's not going to happen. That ain't gonna happen.
What are you going to? But see, this is where they seed their leverage, kind of like a Barack Obama used to do, give the house away before the negotiations start. If Zuckerberg felt he was going to lose billions in fines, he would be more willing to come forward. He would be more willing to purge the Russian oligarch, even if he's got to refund the $200 million.
Right.
It's cheaper than billions.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he should suggest giving back the money. $200 million won't put Facebook out of business. $1 trillion or $2 trillion would they couldn't see the light of day ever.
Okay.
That'll be worse than the debt that iHeartMedia had before they filed bankruptcy. That's another subject.
How about this? The marriage between Cambridge Analytica, the $200 million investment in the Russian oligarch, puts Vladimir Putin and the Russians right flat dead in the middle of every election from now on. And that's the peril that we face.
Right.
If we don't X Facebook out, they will forever influence our elections. And people have to, you see, Lee, it starts with that narrative.
Well,
Facebook
it
is to be feared.
Facebook
is to be feared like the NRA. The NRA is a terrorist organization, period. You can lump the NRA in with the Klan and the neo-Nazis and the nationalists.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot approach this battle tippy-toeing.
Well, see, here's the thing. With Facebook being involved in the scandal, and it's clear to me that they were aware of what they were doing, but the money was greater than the risk. And obviously they did not have America's best interest at heart. Zuckerberg said, oh, shit, this is a lot of money these guys are going to pay us. Give them access. You think he didn't make that decision? Abso-freaking-lutely he did. That kind of a deal would not go through without the blessing of the guy at the top. It just doesn't happen. It has to go all the way up to the top. How do you write a sales contract for, what was it, $200 million?
$200 million investment
into the company.
Into the company. So they are invested.
So see that was a real gangster move. I'm going to invest $200 million in your company, and I need you to give me access to this, and I'm going to sell this information to the Trump campaign.
No. I'm going to invest $200 million in your company.
Right.
You give my boy over here,
right.
Cambridge Analytica.
Right.
Therefore, you have a level of deniability once the investigation kicks off. This is why, at this point, they have made it unprovable. So, since it's more than likely to be the case, you make it untenable. And that's the only solution from the FTC and our democracy, is make it untenable for Facebook to exist, having cut this kind of a deal, knowing full well that this was a Russian oligarch involved, knowing full well that this will contaminate our democracy from this day forward. Fake news will always be around. Yeah. And if you listen to undercover tape of these guys talking to one another, they have absolutely no credibility, or they have a very adversarial relationship with the truth.
Well, it's clear to me, Alpho, that the problem that we're faced with in this through this investigation. Well, listen. There's so many tentacles to it. And I hope this investigation continues until it's finished, and they got to pull on every string. See, when you see a string dangling from the ceiling and you pull on it, you know what's going to come down. And that's what this investigation is doing, is uncovering things that you can't even imagine. You can go in with a flashlight into a dark hole, and you don't know what's in there until you put the light on it, and you go, damn. There's a gorilla down here, a rattlesnake, a barracuda. I mean, you don't know what's in that dark hole until you go in with a bright light. So for the president, his supporters, his administration, all of the people surrounding him to suggest this thing should not go forward simply is a part of a potential cover-up. And I say potential because we don't know. We don't know what we don't know at this point. So this investigation has to move forward systematically in a sensible order until you find out the truth. Now, we could be wasting our time through this investigation, or it could be exactly what's needed to find the truth. And I think that's what most American people are looking for, the truth. Now, if it turns out that Trump directly or indirectly had nothing to do with the Russia meddling with our election, then so be it. If it turns out that he did, directly or indirectly, or people around him, then whoever they are should be punished. But from my perspective, in my opinion, based on what we know so far, it's no way in hell that he couldn't know It's no way in the world his sons, daughters, son-in-law, Bannon, and all the tight-knit people around him, you're telling me not one of them said, we got an opportunity here to meet with these Russians and blah, 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 and they say they got some damaging information on Hillary. You think he didn't say, go do it? Go do it, and I mean ASAP. Absolutely.
Oh.
There's no doubt in my mind that that happened. With the type of personality that he has, he's a hands-on guy, and I want it done my way. And I think that his sons, his son-in-law, Bannon, all the rest of them feared that if they did something without his approval or knowledge, they would have a heavy price to pay. Look at the evidence. Look at what has happened. People that have turned their backs against him, where are they now? They're fired. He's still doing The Apprentice. People are firing, quitting, getting indicted, charged with crazy stuff all around him. You telling me that there's no shit on his shoes? Come on, folks.
And listen to you talk about it, Lee. My point of view is this. They are master crafting the cover-up. They are masters at bovine. If you can't, and people will say, we just don't know. Oh, we know. There have been, I got a thing, what do they call it? It's a video that actually counts the number of times that the Trump campaign says they have absolutely nothing to do with Russia. We've had no contacts with Russia. Nobody's talked to any Russians. Russia, 51 times. So now it's come to light that there have been 21 indictments, 4 guilty pleas, and you flipped all kind of witnesses. I'm like this. Make the cost untenable. That's why I say Facebook should be facing, really should be facing a threat of extinction. I'm not saying level the $1 trillion fine on them. I'm saying threaten them with it. You see, Republicans do absolutely nothing without that recipe. Make it untenable, threaten you, and give you and take hostages. And that's what they do with everything. With everything. Now they have a budget that's due tomorrow. Before the government can shut down again, the CR will have run out. And their proposal is $1.3 trillion deficit. Not debt. Deficit. Remember, they were all over the Obama administration, and he cut it to something like $700 billion in spending deficit, and now it's back up to $1.3 trillion. So, who cares about the debt and the deficit?
It's irrelevant.
Yeah, but it's the two, Lee, it's the two Santas.
Yeah.
It's the two Santa Clauses. Make them shoot their own Santa Claus. And it's in full effect. And this is what they do, and this is how they've done it for the last 5 or 6 decades. And Democrats have fallen right into place.
So, with everything the way it is right now, the president's talking about the trade deals. We got a new budget that's up for approval. The scandal that's going on all around him. As you indicated, all the people have been indicted and charged and blah, 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 blah. There's so much going on. There's so much negativity right now wrapped around this administration. And this moron will sit around with a device like this. He's probably using an iPhone because he's just that jacked up. And I'm not trying to offend all you iPhone users out there, but I'm not one of them. I'm an Android. Okay, I'm a droid. But he has time to sit around and watch TV and play on Twitter?
Of course.
Damn it! I don't want a president doing that. You got time to play around on Twitter. I don't have time to play around on Twitter and Facebook. I don't watch TV like he does. Why? Because he wants to know what people are saying about him. He's so stuck on himself. He's so self-centered, twisted, and demented that he's got to watch the news, all the different networks, to see if anybody's saying anything good or bad about him.
Well,
who needs that?
Consider this too, Lee. When he is on Twitter, when he makes his little tweets, there is no one to fact check him, contradict anything he says. And he gets his opinion out there.
Right.
And then everybody comes like it's flypaper or some shit. Because if you have a different opinion, his followers aren't going to believe you.
Right.
So it's not a venue for actual facts. It's a back and forth playground kind of, I know you are, but what am I? I know I am, but what are you? You know, it's back and forth. It's the Pee Wee Herman kind of BS.
Pee Wee Herman. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
You haven't heard that? That's a little skit off of.
Yeah. I know what Pee Wee Herman is. I just haven't heard anybody refer to him in a long time.
Oh, well, that's a skit on Pee Wee Herman. I
by the
know
way,
I am, but what are you?
Right. By the way, folks, I've got a two-camera shot here. I'm showing the seat that Carol would normally sit in and the microphone that she uses. So today we have an empty seat. It's the closest thing that I get to show you Carol. That's where she normally sits, right there. Right over there.
I'm not going to ask for your Charlton Heston moment. Okay?
Yeah, you're right. But
y'all leave my friend Carol alone.
That's your girl. She calls you Alfie. And she told me one day, she said, I talked to Alfie. I said, who the hell is Alfie? Oh, and that's what I call him. That tickled me something good. Alfie.
Now, you know what tickles me?
What?
The way that between you and I, the way we can invoke such an outrage from Chris. He just loses.
We get him going, huh? He's easy. He's so easy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had a spell there. It's to a point where I just pick and choose the times when I swing on him because I know how he's going to respond. And when he responds, I go to crying because I'm laughing so bad.
Right.
I got to mute the mic so he don't know I'm laughing at him. But
you leave Chris alone. That's my target.
That's my man.
Can't nobody beat him up but me.
he tickles the hell out of me.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Now when I call for him to shoot me in the head,
yeah,
he tells me he's going to get a text message to Anwar Suleiman so he can come and shoot me in the head.
Oh, Lord, you guys are hilarious. Hilarious. Okay. So, what's your thought? Did you watch the president talking about his new deal he's trying to negotiate with the different countries on the tariffs?
No, I saw the stock market drop about 300 last time I looked, and it might be down to 400 or 500 now.
It was dropping while they were talking. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, because he's going to start a trade war, and you see, here's the problem with that. You know, I agree that these trade wars are unfair, but what he doesn't realize is that it's going to create higher prices for the people here because they're going to do the same type of tariffs on our products. That can only be good if we revert to making stuff, manufacturing stuff again.
Well, and I think we should do that because that will employ more people. But if we have to do trade with other countries, then why can't it be equal? 10% in, 10% out. What's wrong with that?
Well, here's what's wrong with that. Because it's the corporations. You think they're going to pay a living wage here in America when they can pay pauper wages?
Yeah.
A third, a 12th of 1/20th in a foreign nation like Bangladesh, Indonesia, and all these places for the labor. And see, it's like you can't compete with that foreign wage. But it's the corporations, and see, I can understand his tariffs if he were applying them in a proper way, but he's not. He's basically this is nothing but, you know, when you shave and you get that gel on your face and it turns to foam. This is what that is. This is a covering of his ass and making the gullible people and the Rust Belt, the hard workers, the idiots who want to breathe in coal and get black lung and to supply the energy for this nation, as he puts tariffs on solar panels. What's the name of the automaker? Oh, there's an automaker who just came out with roof shingles that are solar panels.
Oh, and I saw a couple of them in the past few days. It's called the solar panel is in the roof of the
$21.
What do they cost?
Well, no, the roof panels, they go on your roof. Right. Instead of regular roof tile, they go on your roof, and they're about $21 a panel, and they're the same size as roof shingles. Even if it costs you $2,100, even if you go through 1,000, it's worth it because you're going to have power as long as you live there.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of searching for it now, Lee, to get the name of this company.
Now, are you saying tiles on the roof of your car or the roof of your house?
No, on the roof of your house.
Okay. Yeah, because there's an electric car out now that the roof of the car is a solar panel, and I think it's called, was it KAMAHA or something like that? I saw a couple of them, and one of my passengers pointed out. He said that it's all solar panel on a. It was a nice looking car. It kind of looked like the Tesla.
Tesla. That's the name of the company, Tesla.
Tesla. Okay.
Tesla. They've come up with a roof shingle that is a solar shingle.
That's smart. So you can build your house out of these roofing panels, and it's in place of shingles.
Right.
Nice.
You'll have these
smart move.
You'll have these solar shingles instead of regular roof shingles.
And they're $21 a piece?
They're $21 a piece.
Wow, that's pretty well. $21 if you got a good sized roof, that could add up. I guess it depends on how many you'll need to power your house. Maybe you only need half of your roof. I'm like
this. I'm like this. it pays for itself in the long run.
Absolutely.
Here it is. Tesla is now selling solar roof tiles. They even look better than the traditional roof tiles. And they did they're not as bulky as a regular roof tile. They're thinner, they're lighter, and they're more durable. And they have a lifetime warranty.
Wow.
And they did an impact of 160 kilometers on impact. So whatever's coming out of the sky they will stand up to it, basically.
Wow. So you have a good-sized hailstorm, you don't have to worry about the panels being busted up.
Right.
Unless you have a meteor coming down, that ain't gonna work.
Right. Or a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait for that. I'm gonna be standing on the front porch with my shotgun in hand.
Shoot him in the head.
Right. Exactly. I'm gonna go get in my bed and go to sleep and say, y'all got it. Whatever the outcome is, it is what it is.
Those are some of my favorite movies.
Huh?
Those are some of my favorite movies. Not the zombie walk-in and whatnot, but just the movies like I Am Legend, where this one man has the total access to the city that seems to have been not just evacuated, but everybody died off except for you. And there's only a few people left alive, but none in this great big city, and you really have access to everything that's in that city. Until, of course, but you got to be in by dark.
Got to be in by dark because of what?
Well, you've never seen with Will Smith, I Am Legend?
No, I have not seen that one.
Oh, you got to watch that movie. It's it's a nice sci-fi thing where the human race has basically died off because of a virus that turns people into superhuman, super strong animals.
Wow.
That feed on people, feed on other animals, just flat out raw.
I think I have an attention deficit disorder because I can go to a movie, which I don't do often, or if I sit down and watch something on TV, I can't retain that. I can go to a movie, and 2 hours after the movie, I can't tell you very much about that movie. What is that? Am I kind of screwed up in the head or what? Or is it that I just don't give a damn? I'm not interested in retaining that information.
No, that just means you miss that slow bus every now and then on your way to the school. The short bus, you missed it.
There were no buses when I went to school.
Well, there you go. That explains it.
I had to hoof it, walk to school. No bus, no car, no bicycle, no skateboard, none of that. We had to hoof it, walk to school. The only time we got a ride is when the coal train came down the Norfolk and Western Railway. We would jump the train sometimes and ride about 10 or 15 blocks and jump off. Sometimes that some bitch would speed up, though. And jumping off your feet, your shoes would be on fire because you're sliding across the asphalt at one of the intersections. You jump off at the intersection where, there's a crossing. Because if you jump off before or after that, you're going to hit the gravel and the dirt, and you're going to tumble and break your damn leg.
It's a downhill road.
Yeah, right. So you had certain spots that you could get on and get off. If you missed that, you might end up in West Virginia some damn way. You're going to have to hold on tight. Oh, boy. The stupid stuff that we used to do. Oh, boy. So you guys didn't have to deal with stuff like that in Chicago.
Oh, but we had the luxury before the Dan Ryan was built. Imagine all of the construction.
Oh, I bet.
Just the homes that they tore down over the years. I must have jumped on 5 nails. 5 nails went through my gym shoes.
Yeah, that sucks. I've done that. Step on a board with a nail sticking up through it and you ain't paying attention. Yep, I've done that. And the next day your foot is swole up, look like a big monster foot. All infected and carrying on.
And you didn't dare tell your mama because you knew that was your behind. But if your foot swole up and you had to tell her, it was still your behind.
Right. You're going to be the biggest idiot in town.
Right.
Period.
That's right.
Sounds like you got that Trump, Lee Michaels. If you don't retain. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, Lord, I'm going to go get some medication. Don't lump me with Trump in any kind of way, shape, or fashion. Even if I became a billionaire, don't say, well, he's just like Trump. He's a billionaire. I don't want that. I don't want any association with this moron. None.
It's
Zero.
Brother Tony Hamilton.
Yeah.
I want to speak out of holler. Shout out to Tony Hamilton.
Right. Exactly. Uh-oh. Chris Bass is watching, so we can't talk about him now.
Oh, come on.
No. It's Be Nice to Chris Day. Now, see.
We can't
Laura
be nice
Rice.
if he ain't here.
Well, he's there. He's watching now. He logged in. And see, Laura Rice, she's want to start some hate and discontent.
Oh, no. No, Laura, no.
Pick on Chris
no.
Day. No, we're not doing that. No, Chris is okay. Today is Thursday. We pick on Chris on Wednesdays, not Thursday.
No, you
unless
pick
I
on him
forget
on
to do
Wednesday.
it on Wednesday, then I'll do it on Thursday. But only me. The rest of you guys can't pick on him. That's my dog. That's my dog. My target. That's my Trump. I didn't say that. No, I'm just messing with you, Chris. You know that. It's all love, bro. Nothing but love for you, brother. It's all good.
Yeah, brother.
Plus, you bigger than me. By a couple pounds.
Yeah, I just harassed Brother Chris. And like I said, I just lose it when we done push the last button.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
comes in, and he don't come in soft and quiet
No. He becomes
and build up
completely
to the
unglued.
crescendo. He
No.
comes in blaring. Just wait a minute, you MF. I don't know what the F you.
He becomes unglued, unfiltered, tripping. It's all good, Chris. It's all good. I mean, I'm sitting here drinking some cold-ass coffee. I hate cold coffee. You like cold coffee?
I don't drink coffee, period.
Oh, okay.
That's why I use a knucklehead.
That was a poke in the eye right there.
Hey,
So what's next? Who's going to get fired next? Or quit?
well, the boy, it's gonna be what's the boy's name? McMaster? Or did they fire him already?
I can't keep track.
I know Rachel has a whole board of them. She's got a screen where she has to turn around and look at them and read them off. And you know what? For
It's getting to be
anybody
a long
think
list.
that this presidency and the way he's running the government is somehow admirable, somehow inspiring. You know what? He says, we're going to drain the swamp. But then he's got Kellyanne Conway, who's guilty of violating the Hatch Act twice. He's got Kushner, who is a Russian asset. He's got Pruitt, who's spent $43,000 on a phone booth in his office. He's got Ben Carson, who spent $31,000 on a dining room set, and now he's blamed his wife.
Threw her under the bus. But
right,
didn't he
do it.
return it or rejected the order or something?
Well, you know what? That's
because
like,
of the pressure from
that's
the media.
That's like turning a bag of Hanes underwear, a 3-pack, when you done wore 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you return it for a full refund. Zinke spent $139,000 on an office door. Salkin,
Damn.
$122,000 on a European trip. And what's his name? Muchkin? He spent a government plane for his personal use. And that's just 6, 7 of them.
Right.
You got a whole cabinet that is wrought with cronyism, criminality, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And how was it that Du Bois becomes Secretary of State? What's his name? Tillerson?
Yeah.
He becomes Secretary of State when you've never met him. Was it because he was the CEO of Exxon and the $500 billion oil deal with Russia? And now you've made him Secretary of State?
Alfie, come on. See, now you just, come on. Yeah, one thing had nothing to do with the other.
Throwing rocks? One thing had nothing to do with it. We would have to suspend logic. We would have to enter the twilight zone with 2 passes, not 1, 2 passes, to pass our ass in and to pass our ass out. At some point, it's more than just a coincidence.
Right.
At some point, we have to throw caution to the wind and say, there is so much noise on one side, I've got to get on the other side. Because it's not thoroughly and provable. See, because one thing you understand about provable, they're still going to deny it. I don't know that woman, although there's pictures of him with the woman.
Yeah.
Although she says she's got tape, and that's why he's fighting so hard to keep it off the television and threatening her with a $20 million lawsuit. But he don't know the woman.
Exactly. So, you see, those are the things that are so clear and egregious that people want to ignore. Say, oh, well, you know, that happened before he was the president. It doesn't matter. When it happened, it happened. I mean, I know it's not admissible in court, but she did a lie detector test, and she came out telling the truth. But there are a lot of people that say, well, you know, no big deal. That in itself is just unbelievable to me, that people have lowered their standards, their moral standards so low that a man that has had all of these affairs and it's a fact that can become the president of the United States.
And if you notice something...
Not a great businessman. He's had some failures. Now, everybody's had some failures in business here and there, but what, 4 bankruptcies? Taking advantage of people. How many civil lawsuits was he involved in right prior to the election? Was
something like 3,000.
3,000, 3,500?
Right.
I mean,
right.
You cannot be a straight shooter, an honorable person, and that 3,500 lawsuits against you because you don't want to pay people for doing work? Okay. Let's walk that back. Let's walk through that. 3,500 lawsuits, mainly because you don't want to pay people that have done work for you. I see several problems here. Number one, if you're such a smart-ass businessman, how do you hire incompetent people?
Because he doesn't plan to pay them anyway.
So that same trend has followed through to his presidency. Look at how many people he's fired already, or they've quit, or been indicted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Poor judgment, bad character. He has an agenda. He hires people knowing he's going to screw them. 3,500 lawsuits? Really? Who does that? Donald Trump.
Grifters and con men.
Right. He's a con man. And you think that that's who you want to lead the free world? This is the guy that you want to say, that's my president? I'm proud of him? Then you must be a con artist too. You must be a rip-off artist. You must not pay your bills. Shit, I agonize if I'm getting close to a bill coming up and I don't have quite enough money to pay it. That bothers me. So I work a little bit harder to ensure that I pay my debts. This asshole, he says, screw him. I'll sue him. I'll come up with some Trump charges. Like the guy in New Jersey that sold him $100,000 worth of pianos for his Trump casino in Atlantic City and ended up paying the guy pennies on the dollars. So to this retail outlet that was looking at some sizable profit out of this $100,000 bill, if it was $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, even if it was 50% markup, that's okay with me. You agree to buying these pianos, and then you renege and paying the man. And the pianos were delivered. Who does that? Calls a guy up and threatens him. Say, look, if you don't take this 30% here out of the 100% that we owe you, then we're not going to pay you anything. This man doesn't manufacture the pianos, and even if he did, he still has some built-in costs for manufacturing. So he buys the pianos from the manufacturers, sells them to Donald Trump. He gets screwed. Thousands of people who have done business with this man has experienced the same situation. And this is the asshole you want to be your president? So is he going to bring that same practice into his administration to run this country and screw our allies and people that the government does business with? Don't pay the bills. The government buys $200,000 worth of toilet paper or paper towels. They probably buy them from the Koch brothers. But be that as it may, you don't want to pay them, but you're going to receive the product, use it, and then don't pay the bills? Is that how America works? If this is the trend, if this is the MO for all Americans to follow, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of it because that's not what I believe in. It's not what America has been built on. We've got our own issues, our scars, and the things that we've done in the past when we screwed the Indians. Okay? It's a fact. Don't say, well, yeah. No. That is factual information. Came in here and took the land from the indigenous people. That's a fact. Can't change the history. You can't make it not so bad. That was bad. Millions and millions of people were slaughtered because you wanted this land. That's wrong. It was wrong then. It's wrong now. And the gangsterism still exists today. It's not the same gangster like back in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. It's a different gangster today. He's a banker. He's your banker. He's your mortgage holder. He's the guy that you get your loan from when you buy a new car. Those are the new criminals. Guys in the stock market. Guys in technology. Like Zuckerberg. He's a gangster. What Facebook did was a gangster move. He took money from a foreign group of people, and they wanted something in return. And they got it. And it interfered with our election. I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, well, we don't know if it really had an impact on the election or not. You must be stuck on stupid, or you really don't understand how advertising works. If advertising didn't work, why? And I had an advertising agency in my car last night, meeting with a client. It was some optical client or something. I don't know, whatever it was. If advertising didn't work, why are there trillions of dollars spent worldwide in advertising products and services? It works, folks. I've been doing this for 52 years. Ads, a.k.a. advertising, works. It influences your thinking, your buying habits, your political involvement. It works. If it didn't work, why did the Republicans and Democrats spend hundreds of millions of dollars in the last election? And right there in Chicago, the Democratic winner spent what, Alfie, $70 million?
Something like that. And the Republican winner spent almost about 50, and he barely won the primary.
So there's $120 million that went into the local economy there in Illinois. $120 million. What could you, John Q. Public, the people are listening to the show right now, what could you do with $120 million? Think about it. If you were running a business, to all the radio stations, TV stations in the state of Illinois, and probably some in Indiana that reach into Illinois, got some of that money. Newspapers, magazines, internet broadcasters, Facebook, YouTube. That money went everywhere. So small businesses, large businesses, media outlets all made money. They're dancing in the damn streets. If a local radio station in Chicago received $50,000 or $60,000 on an ad campaign from either or all of the candidates running for those political operations, that's above and beyond their normal client base advertisement levels. So we in the media love these campaigns because that's new money. That's not money that you can even project that you will receive. Depending on the heat, the intensity of that campaign, if it's really heated up, a lot of money flows to these media outlets. You think that iHeartMedia, which happens to be a Republican-based company, Bain Capital is Mitt Romney, has a significant percentage in iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio. So those radio stations you listen to around the country that say, we're iHeartRadio, go to iHeartRadio.com and listen to your radio station and da-da-da-da-da-da. That's who we're talking about. Do you think they are not making big money off of these Republican campaigns and Democratic campaigns? Because you got to buy ads on their stations. But they were $20 billion, with a B, in debt. They've just recently filed bankruptcy and trying to flush $10 billion. Think about what you could do with $10 billion. Think about what $10 billion could do to fund educational growth in America. Maybe we could open up the sports programs, put it back in schools that don't have it, the music programs, art, home economics. You remember the electives, the extra classes that you could take that were really meaningful and helpful? Wood shop, metal shop, electronics, automotive. High school students came out of high school with some type of knowledge in technology. That was technology in the days that I went to high school. Wood shop, metal shop, electric, and automotive. Most high schools in America, public high schools in America, and maybe even some private schools don't have those things anymore. Band, physical ed. My favorite subject was lunch. But check it out.
Remember,
At Booker T. Washington High School in Norfolk, Virginia, we had 30 damn minutes to go to lunch. We left our last class, went to your locker, dropped your books, either go into the lunchroom or go off campus to buy your lunch, get back and eat. No, drop your books, go eat, come back, get your books for the rest of your classes, and be back all in 30 minutes. People used to ask me all the time, man, why do you eat so damn fast? I went to Booker T. Washington High School. I had 30 damn minutes to do everything. So I ain't got time to mess around. I'm finished in no time. 10 minutes or less, I'm done. You had to be, or you're going to be late. Driver's ed. How many high schools have that anymore? That's how I learned how to drive. They had.
that's what's wrong.
I've been jacked up ever since then. But they had 4 or 5 cars, and there was a driveway and a couple of circles, and we had to go through these different, obstacles, if you will, and drive and park and stop and make a left turn, right turn, all of that. I wonder if schools have that anymore. We had 4 or 5 cars. Now, this was in the 60s. In Virginia, in Norfolk, Norfolk, we had that. Now, this was an all African American or black school until 1968. My mother, my uncles, aunts, sisters, my entire family, if you were black and you lived in Norfolk, prior to 1968, that was the high school that you had to go to. There was I think maybe a couple of years earlier, Maury High School and a couple others became integrated where black people could go to. But my high school was not integrated until 1968. And there was supposed to be 200 white kids that were going to be bussed in, but only 20 showed up because the others moved out of the district, so they wouldn't come to the all-black high school. Now that school, it's not the same building because it tore it down. It looked like a factory, and that's what we called it. The gym was called the Dungeon because that's what it looked like. It was an old-ass building. Now, I don't remember what year, maybe in the 70s, they built this new school. And last time I heard, it was 50% black and white, and probably Latino and everything else now. So times change and move on. Nothing stays the same. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the not so good. But that's how things grow and move forward. It's a different day than what it was when I went to high school. And most of the colleges that we went to were all black. Now that's different. It's different. Things have changed. Things are not the same, and that's a good thing. I'm happy about that. That my children and my grandchildren will never have to experience what I went through in my young life. They will have better opportunities than I had. That's a good thing. That's America in its growth. Has it grown fast enough? No. Are there
It's back
improvements
there.
today? Yes.
Yeah, but to what extent, Lee? You know, yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before, we had the same um, question was posed about do they still offer shop? Do they still, because it was Chris, I think it was Chris saying they've gotten rid of music, they've gotten rid of
Yeah.
gym, they've gotten rid of a lot of the things that were instrumental to our,
Hmm.
I would call it our, that shaped us. They've, the children that were, and what was it, Parkland High School, you know,
Yeah.
one of the courses they still had was the civil service, was just, you know, that taught you
Civics?
about civics.
Yeah.
Civics. They still had civics. That's why all of them are so so
In
easy,
tune.
articulated,
Yeah.
in tune with what's going on.
Exactly.
You know, when you had shop and there was auto shop, there was, you know, Shaka Khan was a, I forget her real name. In my freshman year, Shaka Khan was in my music class. She was
No
a few
kidding.
years, she might have been a junior or something like that, but Yvette somebody, I think she had a
Yeah.
twin sister.
Oh, I didn't know she had a twin, but I
I
think
think
her,
she
her
had a
name is
twin.
Yvette, as I remember.
I think she had a twin, if I can recall. But the music teacher's name was Miss Rusky. Of course, I failed the class, but
How you fail music?
because I didn't go.
Oh,
I was cutting the class and having a ball.
right.
I also had a kid or two at the time, so you know I was busy.
Wow.
Hey, that's just the way it was. And Miss Rusky would parade her around, and she's going to be this, she's going to be that. And I'm like, oh, that's good, that's good. But it was a time when we had art classes. I cut that too.
Hmm.
We had music classes. They had home economics that taught girls how to
Yeah.
navigate around the kitchen.
Sure. I took home economics. That's where I learned how to cook. And there was even a sewing class, and I remember I made a shirt
Yep, they
and
they
a
had sewing
vest.
classes.
Yeah.
They had all. Those are the arts and crafts that now will cost you a college tuition loan
Mm-hmm.
because some greedy oligarch, some conservative, chose to sneak up in the dark on the unsuspecting liberals and weed that out of the public school system.
Yep.
They used to have a training facility here in Chicago, Washburn. That's what it was, Washburn, where they used to teach plumbing, uh, air conditioning, and heating.
Mm.
They used to teach those things at Washburn. If you was black, you couldn't enroll,
Right.
but still. Now they closed that school up. And now you have to pay an absorbent amount that you get with a government loan to those particular institutions
Mm-hmm.
to teach you something that you were being taught for free
Well, you know,
when I was
the
in high school.
businesses and people who see opportunities, they will create opportunities to better themselves. So when something is eliminated, something is created to take its place, but for profit, not for free. And sometimes it's done by design, just like the prisons. Many or most of them are privately owned now. They're not run by the state or the federal government. They're privately owned. Businesses, corporations build these buildings and house people that have been convicted of crimes. That's big business, man. Big.
Damn the criminal. Damn the community.
Yeah.
Damn the recidivism rate. You know, at some point, it has to be good for the common good.
Right.
There has to be something called the common good that's good, period. And this is not what you see. You see the Frankenstein monster of capitalism.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
Let me say hello to a few people here. Lisa London, Tony Hamilton, Val Young, you're late. Why are you so damn late? And of course, Chef John Lewis was in there earlier. Margot, Lady Rice, Laura Rice is in the house. Mikey Mike is in the house. Thank you for tuning in. You're listening and watching the Lee Michaels Show with Carol, who's not here today. You see the empty seat? That's where she normally sits. But you wouldn't know that because she's in the witness protection program and can't be seen. And Chris Bass is out today. I think maybe Chris and Carol are hanging out. They're probably doing lunch.
I'm not in that.
I'm just saying, it's kind of coincidental.
I heard something. I put my disclaimer in right now.
You know, she called me this morning. Carol called me this morning. She said, we were doing a show today. I said, yeah, why not? I was just checking because sometimes we don't. I said, well, Chris won't be in. She said, well, I got to do my taxes and I got a doctor's appointment and I don't think I'm coming in either. Wasn't that kind of ironic or coincidental? I mean, I don't know.
I don't see nothing. I don't. You're not pulling me. You're not dragging me into this. You're not dragging me into this.
Okay, Laura. Laura says the Lee Michaels Show, aka Messy Michaels, will start some mess. I'm not starting no mess. I'm just making an observation. I'm just asking questions. That's not mess starting. I don't think. But you would see it that way. I understand how you think, see. Laura Rice. Are you working today? Or are you over there cheating? Let's see here. Oop, I can't get too close to the speakers here because it'll go feedback. Turn it that way. All right, what else is happening? Let me check the news to see if there's any breaking news from our incredible, entertaining president. I know I shouldn't mess with him so hard, but it's easy. Because he makes it easy.
And with all the things you've seen, did you see this particular story, Lee, where the Emir, Sultan, whoever the hell he is, in Saudi Arabia, the one who locked up all the people and basically downsized his opposition. And he downsized them because, guess what? He's walking around bragging about how he has Kushner in his back pocket. And he reveals that Jared Kushner, through the Trump daily briefings, which are highly classified and top secret, revealed the names of his dissidents. And he had them all rounded up, jailed, beaten, tortured to death. Not all of them, only one of them died. But he claims, he brags about having Jared Kushner in his back pocket. This is the picnic head rag dude who, he is the heir to the Saudi throne. This is the one who has kept his mother away from his father, the king, put his mother under house arrest. She hasn't seen her husband in 2 years because she's such a big influence on him. And I don't know where the story ran off to, but I was looking at it yesterday, most of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and most of this morning. Now it seems to have disappeared. Yeah, it seems to have ghosted on us. I can't too much find it anywhere. But he's the heir to the throne, and he so-called got these names from Jared Kushner, who got them from Trump's daily briefing. He's a man without clearance, and he used it in a political house cleaning of his enemies. So it gets more and more interesting.
Yes, it does, day by day.
And the Supreme Court, or a Wisconsin judge, and I'm sure he's going to appeal it, has ruled that Walker must call a special election to fill 2 GOP seats vacated. And he's been holding these seats open, saying he's not going to hold a special election because of the political temperature of the electorate. He's afraid, because he's afraid a Democrat will take those seats.
Absolutely.
So he's not going to hold an election at all. So they had to sue him and take him into court. And he's still going to slow walk it.
What was the outcome of the Supreme Court?
No, it was just a judge. It was just a Wisconsin judge.
Right.
But they never go home. So this Wisconsin judge, they're going to step up one floor to the appellate court so they can get a different ruling. This is why Trump is so anxious to stack the courts with these conservative knuckle draggers, because he knows that's their firewall.
Yep.
If we can get a judge to say it, so be it. That's why Mississippi has the no abortions after 15 weeks, because he knows if he goes to the Supreme Court, his newly nominated justice will rule in their favor. That's why they're eager to get Roe v. Wade in front of this court right now.
Right. Yeah, it's so clear what they're doing. You don't have to be the most intelligent person in the world. You just got to be conscious and pay attention to what's going on. It's clear that they're stacking the courts. It's clear that right now this country is in a terrible position with the control by one party controlling every branch of our government is a horrible idea. Because when you have absolute power, it opens up doors for absolute corruption, because they can get away with it. If you had the fear of being caught, prosecuted, locked up, losing your assets, I think most people would probably moonwalk away from mischievous activity or corrupt type of activities. At least I would. If I know that the rules are X, Y, Z, and if I commit that crime, I'm going to get busted. But if I commit the crime and I know I got people on my side that will be soft on me, I might try it. That's human nature. People do things like that because they can get away with it. because the rules are not going to be enforced. Or if they are, I get a pass. Okay, I stole $50 million. I'll go away for a couple of years. I'll come back, and I'm still good. I have access to the money, or most of it, because I've put some over here. I put some over there. I gave this guy some, and I helped this guy start a business with that money. And maybe all the money is gone. Maybe all the liquid assets are gone. But the relationships that you built when you had access to the $50 million, when you get out of jail, you don't have to worry about getting a job, because homie that you helped out, your brother-in-law or sister-in-law or your uncle, or just a guy that you grew up with, one of your guys, your boy, one of your frat brothers, they're going to look out for you. So you're not going to suffer. You're not going to lose your damn house, because they're going to make sure the mortgage is covered while you were gone. Your wife is still going to be there. Maybe. That's a maybe. We got to put a maybe on that. It depends on how long you're gone. But your life is not going to end. You're not going to be homeless. What? You remember Milken and the scam
Michael
that he pulled?
Milken?
Yeah. What is he doing now?
Rolling in money.
Right. That's my point.
He went away to spend his money. He stole enough of it.
When he came back, he didn't miss a beat. Right back to business as usual. Maybe he's not committing that same crime again, but his lifestyle didn't change. He can still go to the best restaurants and hang out with the rich boys and hang out, do his thing. Live in a nice, plush apartment somewhere, probably in New York or wherever. Let your butt do it. Let John Doe try to do something like that. That's your ass. You're going away. You're gone. Kiss it goodbye. It's over and out. So if y'all don't understand that, you're delusional, misinformed, not paying attention, or just stuck on stupid. I'm just about finished with that song, too. It's called I'm Stuck on Stupid Over You.
Oh, wow. I thought you were talking about the Temptations. So
Now, this is if the Temptations were around, I probably would have my boys do a recording of it, but I think this one's going to be more of a country song. I'm stuck on stupid over you. Why did the country boys sing like that? I mean, you can hear a brand new country song and you can sing along with it because you know the pattern. And there are a number of songs out today, several, in fact, that I have heard the melody. I know where the song is going even the first time I heard it. Because it's not original. Real simple. That guy, what's his name? Ed Sheeran. He's got another song. That album, it must be 8 hits out of that damn thing by now, at least. But he's got a song out that sounds like a song that I remember from like the 60s. It's got the same melody and everything. And, we know he knocked off a record from, what was it? The Girls. Candy wrote it. What was the name of that group that she was in? And she's on that, is it Housewives of Atlanta? The songwriter, Candy? SWV.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yep. His big song, The Shape of You, the track is basically an old SUV song. Not SUV. What am I thinking? A car? SWV. SUV. So, yeah. So, I mean, those are the things that happen. You know, you hear something, you get inspired, and you take the melody and you roll with it. You put some new lyrics on it. It's a new song. Not. You stole it. So, yeah, I got this country song coming out soon. And I'm trying to decide who I'm going to have sing it. But it's going to be a smash. It's like My Girl that I wrote. So I live off all these royalties and the stuff that I did from back in the day. Alpha, you ever been to Hollywood or California? Any parts of it?
Oh, no.
No, never? You never been to
Nothing
California?
like that.
What?
Florida either.
What?
I've been to North Carolina. I've been to Iowa. I've been to Alabama. I've been to very few places.
Why is that?
No desire.
Really?
No desire to see it, be it, or be there.
You don't want to come to California?
I've been in the Smoky Mountains. I've been in Knoxville, Tennessee. But no.
I thought you would have
They almost arrested me in Alabama, and I was just a teenager.
Well, I had that encounter as well. They stopped me. I was at a gas station getting some gas in Alabama. And my second wife and I, Cindy, were traveling from Los Angeles to Charlotte, North Carolina. I had just taken a job to be the operations manager, program director at WGIV. So we were driving in a little Toyota, pulling a trailer. You know, one of those U-Hauls? All a little junk in there. And we stopped for gas, and we pulled out of the gas station, maybe a few blocks away. The cops pulled us over. Was I driving? No. Cindy was driving. I was in the passenger front seat. And they actually had her get out of the car and go back towards the cop car to interview her. And first thing was, well, we notice you have your headlights on and it's in the daytime. That's usually a signal that you're are in trouble. So I pulled you over to make sure that you were okay. Is that black man doing any harm to you? She looked at me like, what are you, crazy? That's my husband. Now, my wife, Cindy, is Mexican, fair-skinned Mexican. So he wanted to know if I had hijacked her or was doing something wrong. Now, this was in, 78 or 79?
Good enough for a lynching.
Isn't that crazy? When she got back in the car, she was shaking. She was so scared and pissed at the same time. She says, "You're not going to believe what he asked me." I said, "What was it?" And she ran it down. I went, "Wow, let's get out of the state as soon as possible, but don't speed." If the speed limit is 55, do 55 and a half. Maybe. Isn't that crazy? Unbelievable. But it happens, I bet, still today in certain parts of the U.S. And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of it even having to go through that experience. And it's just unfortunate that the mindset is that way. Now, listen, I appreciate the guy stopping, and maybe the headlight on in the daytime was well, you can't do that now because all new cars, the headlights stay on all the damn time. So that dog whistle won't hunt. So what's a new signal? If that was truly a signal. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
I hadn't either. And I don't know if he made it up or whether that was a real dog whistle from back in that time. So what do you think, Alfie? Do you think Stormy Daniels is telling the truth that she really had an affair with now the president?
Well, she was doing Dallas. Why not him too? That's her. That was her job. You know,
Yeah.
it's not. I'm not trying to be misogynistic, but that's the path in life she chose. That was her life's work. So she got no shame in her game. She copped to what she is.
The Dow is down about 424 points right now.
Oh, that's what I missed. I turned my television on here and Sports Center was on, and I never got to the channel to see what the Dow.
Hmm. Down 424 points. Now, what about this cop shooting? And the guy in his grandmother's backyard, and all he had in his hand was a cell phone.
Well, that's just another classic. All of this, I was afraid for my life is, it just don't cut it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to give you $6 million for this wrongful death. That don't cut it either.
Right.
This has to begin to come from policemen's pensions, and this has to be a greater number when it comes to the amount paid out. They've capped this off, it seems like, at $6 million. Well, they pay, well, we'll give you 6 years. Take $6 million. No. Give me 40 million. And give the next person 40 million. And the next person 40 million.
Mm-hmm.
And start taking it out of the policeman's pension. Make it cost them, and they will ring themselves in. Because to shoot and kill him, because you feared for your life, and if you shot him 20 times, I'm sure you didn't reload. It was more than one cop there. You got him outnumbered.
Yep.
You got guns pointed at him, and you fear for your life. So you shoot him dead? No.
But no. Alfo, and I know, and everybody knows that the cell phone is the most dangerous weapon you could ever have, because people are killed by cell phones every day.
Yeah. Their credibility is killed.
But you see how stupid that sounds? I was being sarcastic.
Facetious. Yes, and
But-
sarcastic. I know.
But see, that the same people out there that feel like, okay, guns don't kill people, people kill people with guns. They always leave that out. So now I guess they can say, well, cell phones just will make you get killed by the cops. You shouldn't have had a cell phone in your hand. Damn it. What's wrong with you? So they will change the narrative and make it his fault. It's his fault he was shot to death, because he was in his grandmother's backyard with a cell phone. Had to be doing something wrong.
Did you see the picture of the bomber?
Yeah, I did see a picture.
They got his high school picture up, not how he looks today at 24.
Right, of course.
They've got his high school picture up. What's that about?
Bovine. I'm trying to pull up a video here, folks, to play for you. Copy URL. Video. Okay, got it. All right. Now, I'm going to try to bring this in. This is a young girl who is expressing her pain and sorrow and everything of the loss of her brother that was apparently stopped by the cops in his neighborhood where he lives. He was walking to his sister's house at 3 a.m., never made it there because he was stopped by the cops apparently, and they arrested him for two charges: obstruction and disorderly conduct. And I'm gonna play this video for you, and it's really heart-wrenching. It brought tears to my eyes because I could feel this young lady's pain from the loss of her brother. I hope I can get this to work. I got a black screen right now. It's not coming in. Wait a minute, that's the wrong damn. Remove that. Go back over here. And I just don't understand why these things just continue to happen.
And he didn't get, there wasn't a call. They didn't get notified for 2 weeks.
Right.
And they were unable to see him. They were unable to talk to him.
That's right.
They were, come on. Come on. That's, you know.
Yep.
I'll tell you what. That's, and I'll ask this question again. When and how long will it take us before we all become radicalized? Before we all rise up and say, enough's enough. Until we get that mental urge to go around and blow ourselves up.
Right.
I mean, it's coming. And hopefully it doesn't get here in my lifetime. And you see the people in South Africa, the black people talking about taking the land from the white farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the first thing white people step back and say, oh, that's wrong. That's their land. No, it's not. What did they pay for it? Nothing. They murdered, raped, and stole the land from the black people in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And now comes their turn, and they're up in arms. Now they want Trump to accept them into America. Ain't no room. We all out of bull. Go over across the street to sell that bullshit. We stocked up here.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm going to try to get this thing to work here for us. Clips. Okay. I'm not able to pull the video in because it was sent to me in Messenger, and for some reason, it's just not working for me. I'm going to try to put a camera on this and bring the audio up. Okay. Close that. Hopefully this is going to work. But at least if you can't see it well, you'll be able to hear the audio. Now, Alpha, I'm going to switch away from you, but you'll still be able to hear it, I believe. All right, so let me get the camera over there. It's a little jacked up, folks, but I think it's important for you to see and hear this. And hopefully I can get this to work. Okay, this is a young lady. I believe she's in Philadelphia. Her brother was arrested, charged with disorderly conduct, and well, she'll explain it to you in the video. She is sobbing deeply, feeling the loss of her brother, and she'll explain to you in greater detail what happened based on what they know at this time. The brother was in Georgia. So here we go.
I'm gonna need everybody to watch this live and to share this video. Share it as much as you can. Share it far. Share it all over. My brother's 22 years old, graduated from high school, and he had a bright future ahead of him. And my mother lives in Rockdale, in Atlanta, in a really good neighborhood where it's sad to say, but in that neighborhood, when they see black families, they're a little bit racist about it, but that didn't stop my family from living there. On March 7th, my brother left at 3 o'clock in the morning from my mother's house to walk to my little sister's house, and he was stopped by police. He was stopped by Rockdale County Police. They arrested him, and the charge that is on record was disorderly conduct and obstruction. So from March 7th till 1 o'clock this morning, my brother has been locked up by Rockdale County Police, and my mother wasn't allowed to talk to him. My mother wasn't allowed to see him. They told my mother that he was in the hole, that he was insane, but we couldn't understand because this is a good kid. Why would he be locked up in the hole for walking down the street from our house, from his mom's house to his sister's house? Police knocked on my mother's door at 1 o'clock in the morning after holding my brother from March 7th to yesterday to early this morning, and told my mother that my brother was dead. My mother didn't get to talk to my brother. The last time my mother seen him was at 3 o'clock in the morning when he told her that he was gonna go to my sister's house. He never made it there. But this is a fucking problem. You don't know how bad this shit hurts until it hits your family. I have been watching stories like this on TV for years now. But now this hit home. This hit home. This is my brother. This is my blood. This is my children's uncle. It's not right what these police are out here doing to these people. My brother is 110 pounds soaking wet. And if you know me, you know how little I am. There's nothing. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to. Anybody that got negative shit, you keep that shit to yourself. This live is to make noise. This live is to speak of something that is happening all over the country, but nothing is being done. These police shouldn't be able to get away with shit like this. My brother was a good kid, and I hate when people say, oh, these people talk about how these kids was good kids, but they got arrested. My brother got arrested for walking down the fucking street. This needs to be heard. This needs to get out. This isn't right. He should have been able to talk to my mother. My mother should have been able to see him. My mom never got to say 2 words to him. They never got to speak to him. They never got to see him. From the very beginning, the police wouldn't allow my mom to see my brother. And it makes no sense because these are charges that he should have gotten bail on. He should not have been locked up for almost 2 weeks for a disorderly conduct or obstruction. This shit has to be heard. I'm asking everybody to share this. We need to share this. This needs to get out there. And this is the best that I could do right now for my brother because I'm not in Atlanta with my family. But this shit needs to get heard. People need to speak up. People need to see something. I'm making noise any way that I can until I get out there. We need to make noise. I'm gonna call every fucking news station. I'm gonna do whatever I can. Because this shit's not right. This shit is not right. These police are really out here taking our brothers and taking our sons and taking these kids. I'm afraid for my children to grow up in this fucked up world. These police are supposed to protect you. They're supposed to look out for you, and they took my brother away from me. They took my brother away from my mother. He was gonna be something great in life. He was gonna be something great. That kid had a good heart. He had a good heart. He would fly back and forth from Atlanta to Rhode Island to help take care of our grandmother, help take care of his dad going back to Atlanta. This kid was a good kid. And when I say that he was a good kid, I mean that my brother was a good kid. It shouldn't this type of shit shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be allowed. These police are too comfortable with taking these men away from their families. My brother was 22 years old. He was a baby. He didn't even make it to his prime yet. I'ma miss everything about my brother. I'ma miss his laugh. I'ma miss him telling me not to take shit serious because you only get one life. My brother always told me not to hold grudges, to let people be miserable by themselves, because if you carry that negativity with you, you missing out on the best things in life. Breathing is seeing the world, even if you just looking at the skies. And people that's messaging me asking me if my brother got mental issues and all of that shit. Nah, my brother don't got mental issues. My brother was a normal, smart, intelligent, good kid. My brother used to tell me all the time that he was going to teach my sons to make their own business so that we could get rich together. He wanted to buy a fucking house where we could all live together and just live. That's what he said, is that everybody forget to live. Everybody's so busy being mad at each other and holding hate in their heart or afraid to live. But we should live because you only get one life, and now he's not here. The police shouldn't be able to just take these men off the streets on bullshit charges and then take their lives. My mom saw her son the last time on March 7th at 3 o'clock in the morning. She never seen him again. But she'll never see him again. The next time she'll see my brother is when she's burying him on the police hands. You know how sick that is? To wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get that type of phone call. And then it hurts you even more when you find out that it was the police, that he was in police custody. The way I feel right now, I feel like I'm in a movie. I can't turn it off. I can't stop it. This shit is like, I watch shit like this on TV and I shook my head and I'm like, I feel for that family, that poor man, or that's so fucked up. But and that shit will hurt me, and it wasn't even my own family. And I used to shed a tear for these men dying for no reason because police are excited or they know they can get away with it. You know what I mean? And then you get a call that the next black man is your brother. The next black man is your blood. My brother's become a statistic because the police made him that. Because he was a black kid walking in his own neighborhood. Where he lived. To his sister's house. And he gets taken into custody and murdered. I don't care what anybody says. My brother was murdered by the police and they're trying to cover it up now. You don't take an innocent man off. You don't take even if you thought my brother did something wrong. You don't do that. You don't check on my little brother. You don't do that.
Yeah, to the jail. He was locked up.
My brother's gone. And it was at the hands of the police. I just ask that everybody, you share this video even if you don't watch the whole thing. You share it. I need this to get heard. This is the best that I could do for him until I get to Atlanta and I'm able to look people in their faces and fucking talk to them. The last time I seen my brother hugged me and told me that he loves me. And that he was gonna come back and stay with me. And this is kind of crazy because Charlie, my brother's name is Charlie. He called Giovanni last week. And he said to Giovanni, I just want to let you know that I love you and you better be taking care of my sister. And Giovanni said, take care of your sister, can I? You know I'm going to take care of your sister. You know that I've always taken care of your sister. I'm always going to be here. And he said, no, I'm serious. I just want you to take care of my sister and I want you to love her. It was almost like my brother felt like something was going to happen. Because I've been with Giovanni since my brother was like 10 years old. And he never talked to Giovanni like that. He would just be like, yeah, my brother, you know what I mean? Like regular shit. But Giovanni called me right after he talked to him and said, man, your brother's crazy. He just called me and said, I better be taking care of you. And he was asking me if you needed anything. And I don't know why he was talking. And he messaged me. And he messaged me. He said, I'm going to be out there next week, sis. And I love you. Mm-hmm. And I said, all right. I love you too. My brother was supposed to be here March 8th. His flight was supposed to touch ground at 10 in the morning. And when my brother didn't come, I called him and I didn't get no answer. And now I know why. Because the day before he was locked up by Rockdale County Police. And I believe that they was beating my brother from the night that they got him until something happened to him because...
I'm going to post this entire video. There's another maybe a minute, 2 minutes left on it, but we're out of time here on the Lee Michaels Show. I'm going to post this on my Facebook page. This young lady is hurting. She's in pain. There are hundreds and thousands of other families that have been through, that are going to go through the same thing. America, we have to stop this. It's time for these senseless murders by police officers on young men and women across this country. America's not great when things like this happens. Let's pray for her and her family, this tragic loss, and hopefully in the next few days we can get more details about this particular situation. That video has been viewed over 200 and some thousand times already. And this is something that's just happened. God bless that family, bring them strength. They'll never see their brother or son alive again. And at this point, they don't know what happened. That's just wrong. Nothing should happen anywhere in the world like this to anyone, but certainly not in America. Until next Tuesday, you guys be strong, stay focused, use common sense, spread some love. God bless.